In the quiet village of Nalakheda, nestled deep in the forests of Madhya Pradesh, India, an ancient banyan tree stood like a silent guardian. For centuries, villagers revered it, offering prayers and garlands to its sprawling roots. But as the years passed, the once sacred tree began to stir unease. Whispers grew of a darker force dwelling within, a malevolent spirit, or CHIRANS, bound to the banyan, drawing in lost souls. According to the villagers, anyone who heard their name whispered by the tree at dusk was never seen again. People spoke of travelers and villagers alike, lured by unseen voices into the tangled shadows, never to return. The older generations recalled faint rumors of ghostly figures swaying in the canopy like shadows hanging from invisible ropes. One evening, a young man named Rajesh arrived at Nalakheda, a wanderer passing through. Rajesh was a man of science, a firm believer in logic and reason. To him, stories of haunted trees and spirits were nothing more than folklore, superstitions that kept the villagers locked in fear. The locals warned him as he approached the banyan tree. "Do not stay near the tree after dark," an old woman with deep-set eyes told him. "It whispers your name, and once you hear it, you belong to it." Rajesh chuckled, brushing aside her warnings. "Ghost stories," he muttered to himself. "That's all they are." As night fell, Rajesh set up camp beneath the tree, determined to prove there was nothing to fear. He watched the sky darken, the sun sinking below the horizon, casting eerie shadows from the tree's gnarled branches. The wind rustled through the leaves, and the village behind him seemed to fall away into an eerie silence. Hours passed uneventfully, but as the moonlight trickled through the dense canopy, something changed. The wind grew colder, and the once gentle rustling of leaves began to take on a peculiar tone. It was faint at first, barely noticeable, like a breeze caressing his name. "Rajesh, Rajesh." He stiffened, unsure if he had truly heard it. "It's just the wind," he told himself, trying to shake off the creeping fear gnawing at him. But the whisper came again, clearer this time, soft but unmistakable. "Rajesh, come." His heart pounded, skin tingling with unease. He stood up, scanning the darkness around him, but there was nothing, only the ancient banyan, its massive roots curling like a serpent's embrace. The whisper grew louder, more urgent. "Come, come closer." Rajesh's skepticism crumbled. Panic rising, he tried to flee, but his legs felt leaden, as if the very ground beneath him was pulling him back toward the tree. The whispers became a cacophony, louder, calling his name, beckoning him into the tree's embrace. The air around him thickened, cold and oppressive, and just before everything went black, Rajesh saw a pair of glowing eyes staring from the tree's twisted heart. By morning, the villagers found Rajesh's camp. His belongings were scattered, his fire reduced to embers, but there was no trace of the traveler. The banyan tree stood silently, its branches swaying in the wind, as if satisfied with its latest offering. The villagers knew better than to look too closely at the tree's roots, which seemed to twist deeper into the earth with every passing year. To this day, the villagers of Nalakheda avoid the banyan tree after sunset. No one speaks of what happened to Rajesh, but his name is whispered in hushed tones, a warning to those who dared challenge the darkness. The banyan tree remains, its whispers lingering on the wind, waiting for its next visitor.